Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Nikki here if you are new to my channel. In today's video, I will be teaching you step by step how to get your eyebrows to pop for beginners. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, then stay tuned. Alright guys, so let's jump right into it. So the first thing that you want to focus on when you're doing your brows and brows for beginner, which let me just say I am not an expert at my brows. I don't think nobody is an expert. I think eventually over time you get better and then your taste, so to speak, for your brow eventually changes. Some people like the nice slick brow, some people like a more natural brow. I'm somewhere in the middle depending on how I feel. So we're just gonna try to talk about the most simplest way on how to start doing your brow. So the first thing first is you don't want to create a brow that doesn't fit your face, so to speak. You want to still focus on what you already have on your face. For me, I have very thin brows, so I do a lot of more filling in. If you are a person that has thicker brows, then at that point you don't have that much filling in to do. It's more defining the shape of the brow that you have. So because I have thin brows, I first start off with the spoolie. Most of eyebrow pencil products come with a spoolie at the end. It's best to find one that has a spoolie because this come in hand, or if you have your own spoolie with a brush, you can do that as well. The one that I have, I brought the Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12, so it has a brush for her eyebrow pomade and a spoolie on the other side. Another tip that I will say when starting off your brows is for beginners, I would say it's much easier to work with a pencil versus a pomade. Once you get comfortable with working with the pencil and doing your brows that way, then at that point you can upgrade to a pomade and then start practicing and doing with that. So today I'm going to do my brows just with the pencil for the sake of the video. So the first thing I do is I take my spoolie and I brush my little hairs because I don't have that many, but I brush them up in an upwards motion because I like more of a arched brow. So you're going to see that I follow my natural arch. So I just brush all my brows up. And if they're long, like because I haven't cut them or I haven't had them like waxed or threaded in a while because they don't grow back, it's not that much. So they get kind of long when I brush them up. So I just then at that point take the brush and put them down where I need them to go. So once I have them set here, that's when I go in with my eyebrow pencil. You don't have to necessarily use this one. This is the one that I have been loving so far lately. So this is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the number 4.5. You can honestly use, like I said before, any brow pencil. I prefer using a more skinnier brow pencil because it just helps me it's easier for me to work with. You can try out yours, some other brow pencils that may work for you guys that is cheaper than this one. You have the Sephora brand brow pencil. You have NYX Cosmetics. You have the Sephora brow pencil that is really good and that's cheaper than this one. You have NYX Cosmetics. You have a whole bunch of drugstore different ones. You just find the color that works for you, and then at that point, as many times as you do it, you'll see what type of pencil you like. If you like more of a pencil, the ones that look like a pencil and that you sharpen it. These more of a mechanical type one where you just twist them up. It's all your preference. So we are going to start off with the pencil. And what I normally do is it is easier for me to carve out the shape of my brow first before I start filling in. That is just easier for me to do, and that's the way that I'm going to show you today. But as you practice and as you go along, if you find that just filling in the areas is easier for you, then you do it that way. But we're going to go my way today in this video. So I am going to basically I literally follow the shape of my brow at the bottom. So what I do is I take the pencil, and how my brow starts here, I literally just start carving out the shape that I want. So because here, I don't know if you noticed in my brow, it has more of a natural arch here and then it goes down to accentuate, I think that's the word that I want to use. That way, I normally just draw like an angled here and I take it all the way up and then I go and I take it down. So it's like connecting the dots, so to speak. I go from here to here, and then at the highest point I go from here and all the way down. And as you can see, I have a nice little bridge going there. And then I go at the top and I do the exact same thing. I follow the way my hairs are growing, and then I stop here at the top. As you can see, I have no hair here at the top, so I'm going to still draw it, because if I had hair, that's where it would be. And then I take it down and I connect it to this line here. And now you see I have a nice blueprint, so to speak, of where I'm going to fill in my brows. So I literally do that first, and I'm going to do my left side. So I go from here to the point where my eyebrows start to grow. I take it to the highest point of my brow, connect it over, and I go down. And again, it's all about following the shape of your natural eyebrows. That's what I find that's the easiest, and that's what looks best. And then if you are someone who don't have no eyebrows at all, then at that point you have more of a freedom to draw your eyebrows on. Whereas me, I still have hair, so I just like to follow the natural pattern that they have, and then I fill in accordingly. So I have now created a blueprint for where I want to fill in, and this is where I begin filling in. Now filling in, some people just color it in. For me, I feel like that's too dark, so what I do is that I fill in more of the tail end of my brows, dark, where I don't really pay attention, but from the arch and forward, I do more of hair-like strokes so it can look more natural. So here, I just literally just color in the lines, that is. So I color in the lines, and I fill that in no particular way or pattern. I literally just color it in because the end of the brows normally are darker. So as you can see, that's filled in already. And as you can see, I left the front of my brows open. So after I fill the back of the brows in, then I go with a much lighter hand to the front and I start doing hair-like strokes up to make my brows look more natural. And as you can see, it looks a little lighter, and sometimes I will brush the hairs down, and if you can see here, you see like sort of kind of gaps there. So that's where I'll take the pencil and do some more hair-like strokes, and then take my spoolie again and brush those hairs back up into place. So everything looks together and seamless. And as you start moving hairs around, you'll start seeing where you want to fill in. So this brow to me is primarily done. We do clean it up at the end. So I'm going to go to this side and do the exact same thing. Gonna just color in, so to speak, the bottom of my eyebrows. And then the front portion, I am going to take lighter strokes to fill that area in, so it's not as dark and harsh. And still like before, I'm utilizing the spoolie that comes on the back of the pencil to keep my eyebrows in place. So for the most part, this is how much of the coloring I do for the brows. Now the next part is the fun part to me. It is the cleaning up of the brows. So with the cleaning up of the brows, you want to be very, very careful. So what I don't do, which I know some people do, is they clean up the top and the bottom of the eyebrows. Because I don't want that halo effect, so to speak, and to not get that halo effect where you look super bright up here, you can use the foundation that you use on your face to clean it up. Most of the times, I don't want my brows to be that defined on my face. I still want them to look a little natural, so I don't carve out and clean up the top. Normally, I do a pretty good job at filling it in and it's not messy. The only parts that I do go in and clean up is the bottom, and that actually highlights that brow bone. So today, I'm going to, normally I take a concealer, about 1 or 2 shades lighter. On a normal basis, if I'm just looking for a more natural look, I'll go 1 shade lighter than my skin tone and clean that up with that concealer. Or you can take your foundation if you don't want it highlighted in that area, or you can, if you want to pop, you can go 2 colors up of a concealer. So today I am taking the P. Louise base in Rumor number 5, and I'm going to put that on the back of my hand to clean up my brows. And I will be taking a Morphe angled brush to clean that up. And what I do for that is literally I follow the pattern that I did with the pencil. I make sure I don't go too much under it just to clean it up. So I start here at the bottom. And I just follow my blueprint. And what I normally do is once I've made that line and I go across, I just very carefully with my brush pull that concealer down, or that base or whatever you're using, or that foundation down to where my eyes are. 1, it'll help things blend out seamlessly, and 2, it'll go as a good base for your eyeshadow if you are going to put on eyeshadow. So I just pull that down. I know it looks kind of crazy, but we're going to fix that. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to the second eyebrow. And as you can see, sometimes I pull the front up, and that's just so when we clean it up, it's going to give me a nice path. So once I have done that, I've carved them both off. I've pulled that concealer, foundation, or whatever you choose to use to clean it up down. Then I take a brush, more so of a fluffy brush. I am looking for my brush so I can show you. I take more of a fluffy brush like this. This is a Morphe E13 brush. It doesn't normally have product on it. It is just a fluffy brush. And then I take that and I blend everything out. So you don't see no harsh lines or anything, especially if you're not putting on foundation. You want to use a color that you can just blend in and it looks perfectly fine. So you just blend this in. So you blend that down, blend it in, so nothing is looking super harsh down there. You're not looking crazy. And then you're going to go back to your spoolie at this point, and you're going to take your spoolie, and you are going to go from like right here and just like do a back and forth motion. This will give you that gradient effect. You're not putting no extra product, and at that point, it'll distribute it. And as you can see now, this looks more put together. So you do that to both of the brows. And remember how I said I sort of kind of took that concealer farther than where my eyebrow started, and it's just to give my spoolie, give me some type of direction on how far I'm gonna go, just so you know I don't look like I have a unibrow when you're pulling the product that's already on your brow up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the rest of my face, and I'm going to come back and then show you guys how it came together seamlessly with the look. So I will be right back. Alright guys, so I am back from doing a full face, and as you can see, the eyebrows complement the look. They just flow so effortlessly with it. So hopefully this tutorial helps you guys out. If you have any questions on products that I may suggest, or any questions in reference to anything that I did, just leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you like videos like this, just continue to give me a thumbs up, and thank you guys so much for all your support.